Hey guys, welcome back, and in this video I'll cover about the guide of complete meching. You see, most people struggle to make mechs and Roblox playing crazy, but I'll show you how to make mechs however you want. First of all, there are two mech types, being the hinge-based mechs and the motor-based mechs. Here. So, first I'll be covering the better one, the hinge-based mechs. These mechs can handle falling very good, and they can not use gyros as well because that's the harder way to do it. So I'll be covering them first. First of all, we need a base model for mech, of course. I'll create two legs like this. Then I'll put the density to be the hardest can go up to or 5. Yeah, it's 5 because that's the best one for it. So grab a hinge and put him like this. And I'm going to add the 45 and whatever because that's the better one for me in my opinion. And then we get these blocks and the knee hinge like this with our settings. We can create the base torso. Wait. Hold up, wait. What if I just use suspensions? Yeah, you can use suspensions because those aren't that bad. And here, use helium blocks. That's right, helium blocks. You can add 3 since we added toes. And add, here. But, however, this will not work unless you make it to. We'll use small propeller engines to make it move. See? However, if you see twitching out too much, just add up the density. Like this, I will have it moving, and it will not fall. But you may ask, how do I make the rotating part? Well, for this we're going to have to use more propellers. Hold on, let me check. No, it's an A. It's an A here, and it's a D here. And yeah, this is the starter hinge-based mech. Yeah, it's one of the best. It's one of the best ones for starting with making hinge-based mechs. Then for the second mech type, motor-based mechs. These mechs are harder to make since their balance is uncontrolled. And there are two types of these motor-based mechs, which one of those can handle no gyros, and the second one can only do it with gyros. Yeah, so grab a snap because we're not using any hard-hitting blocks, and it's one for most, and it's better for most starters, but Not highly recommended because it's very buggy and your legs can go way up. So yeah. W and escape because full bug. W W. Wait, no, actually. Not here, I'll just do this. Then we add some like blocks. 3 plate blocks here. And we can make the other joint. Same setting us here and same setting us here. Because you know the drill, guys. Then you can put a seat here. And yeah, you can see it's bugging out pretty much, so this is why I told you it has to use gyros. But to make it rotate, honestly we're going to use even more gyros. A V5 like this. Max Stark, this. C copy, B this. Hold on guys. Yeah, this ain't gonna work. Because it will just weld it to the blocks. So what I'm actually going to do is just grab a motor right here. AD. With the same settings I got. And yeah, like this. Like this I have made it rotate. Am I supposed to do? Yeah, what do I do these? Yeah, I have to do that. Yeah, you can see it can bug like this sometimes. This is why I say don't use these types. It worked. Why? Oh. Yeah, it's kind of hard to manage these bad boys. These bad boys are very hard. Wait, why don't I just do this? Yes. Escape in this. Bro, these mechs are very hard to make. You see, they didn't work because we haven't added propellers. It's double and double S here. Yeah, it doesn't matter because on the propellers it's different. These mechs are very hard to manage without gyro because otherwise they will just fall, as you can see. Or if you use helium-based and these guys not lift it up, but that isn't going to work so much. Yeah. So now we got the second type. These also require gyros. Yeah, this model requires gyros because we are in a tight space and we cannot add propellers assigned. Yeah, I'm just going to use gyro, but you can use propellers as well. It is like the same as the hinge-based, but it's just motors that are unpowered. Of course. We could do this, but yeah. You don't need any settings for this one, except you need power to be off. Max are 0. Yeah, that's the main settings you'll need for the motors. Then add a helium block so it doesn't fall. You can add it always, sorta. Yeah, but here you must use ballast. This way was actually used. You had to add propellers like that to make it rotate, but this way was actually used without gyros. Before hinges and gyros even existed. I remember times when they didn't exist. So yeah, this is type. The type of thing I would hate to see. It's kind of buggy for naming. Okay, wait. I think you can actually assign propellers to it. But let me try. Wait, will this fall? Will it fall? Yeah, this will fall. So just add more helium blocks like this to give it a base. To get a good base, we're going to have to add propeller right here. So it's the opposite side, which means this is actually A, and yeah, use the same thing I used before, which means it's the opposite side. This is D. Add it opposite side. There we go. Oh my god, dude. My god. What if I just do this? What if I actually just do this? What? This one should actually just left off. Okay, yes, I'll just do this. Yeah, it's very buggy. So make those here, huh? D, A. Yeah, we here don't use reverse psychology because that's the correct site. There we go. So yeah, this is how people used to make mechs before. Oh, the gyro and hinge things even existed. Helium blocks were an old thing in motors because those were main aspects of the sandbox. Yeah. Okay, the main result of this music. I don't know, just funny. Yeah, you can actually jump. I didn't know that. Duh. Now, okay. And that's how you make mechs. Now, I'll go through the showcase of my rig I used without gyros and motors. It's actually hinge-based. And yeah. And super. It's kind of buggy, but yeah, that's how I used. That's how I made it. I made it actually recently. It's an R15 rig that I made. It's sort of a cool mech. I can't add the head because limit. And I do not know math to make it with plus one high pressure. And yeah, this is it for the tutorial. I mean guide of mechs. Yeah, bye bye.